الأنبياء والسيد المرسلين حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا صاحب السكينة المدفون في المدينة المبعوث رحمة للعالمين أبو القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين وبعد. ولعن الله أعدائهم من أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين. قال جل جلاله في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين يؤذون الله ورسوله لعنهم الله في الدنيا والآخرة وأعد لهم عذابا مهينا. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وعظم الله أجورنا أجوركم. And once again, the remembrance of the oppression and the dhulm and the martyrdom of Sayyid Nisa al-Alameen min al-awwalin wal-akhirin, Fatima Al-Zahra, salawatullah wasalam alayha. Inshallah, Fatima Al-Zahra and Ahlul Bayt, for your attendance and your services to the Ahlul Bayt, that they are, of course, your intercessors on the day that you leave this world in your grave, inshallah, on the Sarat, and of course, on the day of judgment. This verse in which I read is from Surah Al-Ahzab, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that those who harm or cause harm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to the Holy Prophet, for God curses them. Curse, la'an, takes away his rahmi from him in this world and in the hereafter. And of course, he gives them the most punishment, the greatest of all punishment. When we look at the chemistry of some of the substances that we use on this earth, we'll find that in the chemistry field, they're broken into two substances. One is called a pure substance, another one called a mixed substance. Why I'm using this example is because today's lesson, inshallah, we'll try to talk about we try to comprehend the fact of who Fatima Al-Zahra, salawatullah wasalam alayha, is. We will look at when it comes to taqween al-badani wa taqween al-ruhi, that no one in the history, from Adam even to the Khatam and after, no one in history was ever created in this form or matter than Fatima Al-Zahra. Even though the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi and Amir al-Mu'mineen are God's greatest ever creation, but I'm talking about the taqween, the compensation of the body of her and what was inside of her, the ruh. Nothing comes close to it. No one ever was created in this form and matter. But to understand this, you have to understand that in this world you have two substances. One is pure, mukhlis, khalis, yeah, and the other one is mixed. When the scientists say that something is pure, it's made of one particular element. One element, it has one specific characteristics. You know, for instance, al-almaz, lu'lu', al-almaz, afwan, diamond, is a pure element, a substance of carbon, pure. Then you look at, for instance, water. Water, even though it's made up of different compounds, it's pure. Water, even though sometimes it changes its form, you put it into the freezer, it freezes up, you take it out, it melts, but it's still water, it's still pure. That's when you look at something that is pure. It's made up of one particular substance and it remains there. No matter what you try to do to it, it stays beautiful. Then you have something that's mixed. And when they look at the mixed substance, it's made up of two or more compounds, and they don't have to be the same. They can be different mass and different composition, different amount. And when you look at the mixture, you have two types of way that you can recognize if this is something mixed. One is called homogeneous, and the other one's called heterogeneous. Those who do chemistry understand this. Homogeneous means that if I mix something, put it into water, like mathal, salt in water, a little bit of salt, the water changes composition. It's got salt in it now, but can you see the salt? Can you see it? You can't see the salt. The only way you can see it probably is you taste it. This is something what we call homogeneous. That means there's mixed compound, but you can't see it. The air that I'm breathing now, the air that I'm breathing, it's made up of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, even water vapor. Can you see it? You can't see it. This is what we call homogeneous. Heterogeneous is when you bring two compounds together, but you can see it. For instance, cookies. We all like cookies. The cookies, you see the biscuit and you see the chopped chips on top. That's a composition. It's a mixture. Even when I have, for instance, water and I put sand in it, it's not like salt. Salt dissolves in the water. Sand doesn't. It just mixes. That's a mixture. That's what we call mixed. There's many other examples. What I'm trying to show you is that sometimes, in order for us to see, what is really inside this mixture, it has to go through a test. Sometimes you have to do a chemical reaction, for instance. Bani Adam is like this. Bani Adam, you have those who are pure, mukhlas, pure substance. They're made from purity. And you know who I'm talking about. Shortly I'll get to it. You have others that are mixed, and they're made up from substances that we can't see within them, like the homogeneous and the heterogeneous. Heterogeneous, we said that you can see it because sometimes a person looks like a Muslim, long beard, masbaha, praise, looks like a Muslim. But when he's put through a test, you see that he's got different qualities inside of him. Why I bring this example is you see that the reason, for instance, the attack on the house of Fatima Al-Zahra, salawatullah salam alayha, you'll find that God here exposed those who were homogeneous, the way they looked, and heterogeneous. Even though they looked like Muslims, some of them had within themselves the character of being hypocrites. They had the character of being someone who disobeyed the Prophet. But like I have this water and I put salt in it, you can't see it, there had to be a reaction. To take the salt from this water, you put heat to it. You heat, the water evaporates, what you left with salt. True? When they attacked the house of Fatima Al-Zahra, there was a reaction there. There was heat. They tried to also light the fire, didn't they? They did light the fire. But this heat and everything happened showed you the people that had mixed within them, mixed qualities. They weren't pure. They're not made from pure substances. Unlike those who were inside the house, they were pure. Ahlul Bayt, alayhim as-salam, and I think Samahat al-Sheikh Abu Rahana used this hadith, but to understand you, that these people, adhab anhum al-rijs, first of all, they're pure. Why are they pure? Because the essence, what they're made from, comes direct from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is the light of God. The light of God. What's more pure than this? You know, when the Holy Prophet says that when God Almighty wanted to create the universe, so He took my light, and He expanded it. And then from my light He created Al-Arsh, the throne. So the throne is from the light of the Holy Prophet. And the light of the Holy Prophet is from the light of God. And then He says, وَنُورِ أَفْضَلْ مِنَ الْعَرْشِ. And the nur of Allah's, of God's greatest ever creation, the Holy Prophet, is better than the Arsh. Then He says, for God took Fataka. He took the nur of my brother Ali bin Abi Talib. and He made the angels. So the light of the angels are from the light of Ali bin Abi Talib. And the light of Ali bin Abi Talib is from the light of God. وَالنُّورُ Ali bin Abi Talib is greater, superior than that of the angels. Then we come to Fatima Al-Zahra. We come to Fatima Al-Zahra where God says that God, when He wanted to create as-samawati wal-ard, the heavens and the earth, He took the light of Fatima and He expanded it. He split it. And from this, so the heavens and earth are created from the light of Fatima. And Fatima is created from the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَذَا النُّورُ of Fatima أَفْضَلُ مِن نُّورِ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. This is to show you again the composition. What we say, the composition of this, to see what is pure and what is unpure. Even you, the Shia, when God made Jews, it wasn't a simple coincidence. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam says, Rahim Allah Shi'atuna. May God's mercy be on the Shia. Why? Because they were created من فضلتينتنا وعجنوا بولايتنا. Allahu Akbar. When God made Jews, the Shia, the ones that knew the greatness of Ahlul Bayt, He took the teen, the actual, so the Imam says that the teen is from us. So you're connected to something pure. And He put on top of this the water of wilaya. And that's what makes you different. So your composition now is better than the composition of all those others. Because we all know that everyone was collated from Adam. Adam is from dirt. But the dirt varies. We said there's people that are pure and people that are non-pure. To understand this, a person came, a young boy came to his father. He said, "Oh father, please teach me. Why is it that some people, subhanAllah, have this nur about them, this closeness, that God loves them a lot more, and other people, no matter what they do, there's no haiba, there's nothing about them that's attractive." And the father said, "Oh son, come with me to the backyard." In the backyard there was dirt. One part of the garden was full of flowers. The other part of the garden was next to the rubbish and the zbali and the rubbish where they threw the animals. He says, alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He says, "Go and get some of the dirt from here and smell it." The boy went and got the dirt. And he smelled it and he goes, it smells. He says, "Why does it smell?" He says, "Because it's close to the rubbish." He says, "Ahsant, very good." Then he says, "Go and get the soil from under the petals of the rose bush. Go." He went there, he got it, he brought us, "Baba, it smells beautiful." He says, "Ahsant." That's the difference between someone that's pure and someone who is not pure. That's the difference between someone who mixes with someone that's pure and someone who mixes with something that's not pure. Shi'atuna, the Shia, because they are connected to something that's pure, that aroma, the smell comes from them. So when we look at Fatima Al-Zahra, salawatullah alayha, you find that her body is the only body that was made, a takween, this takween of it, the composition was only made from heaven. The only person. The light, of course, is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I'm saying the badan, this physical body is actually made, and you all know from the famous hadith, that when the Holy Prophet went with the Al-Asra al-Ma'raj, that he went and he was told to eat from the Sajr al-Tuba, this beautiful, the most blessed heaven in heaven, in tree in heaven, he was told to eat from it. And then the Holy Prophet was told to stay away from Khadija a certain amount of time, so this goes into his body. And then he was told to go to Khadija, subhanallah, Khadija, the real mother of the believers, al-Mu'mineen. This is the true one. You can imagine what type of lady, what type of raham she had to have the seed of heaven put inside her. It wasn't coincidence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose a lady that before, in the days of Jahiliyyah, was known as Al-Tahira. She was already known as Al-Tahira. So when God made sure that this seed went into a rahim of a lady that sacrificed everything in the way of Islam. Everything. Her wealth, her body, her aql, everything in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this poor lady that when she goes to die, she tells the Holy Prophet, I haven't got money to even buy a coffin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends Jibreel, says that this lady deserves a coffin from heaven. But on top of this, when the Holy Prophet was up in the heavens, before he left, he said to Jibreel, do you want any haja of me? He goes, yes, I want one particular thing. He says, God has said that you convey salams to Khadija from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and from me. When the Holy Prophet, and this was what most people don't understand this happened directly after the Isra al-Mi'raj. In the famous hadith, when the Prophet came to Khadija and he said that God Almighty, yuqwiqru salam, that he says salam to you. So Khadija says, Allahu was salam, minhu salam, wa ala Jibreel salam. That God is the salam, and from him is salam, peace, and to Jibreel is salam. To show you the greatness of what God knew, the azama of Khadija alayhi salam. But then you say, why? This is one part. So the badan, we understand, is from heaven. And to understand that everything that touches heaven is blessed. The famous story, you are all, mashallah, you are more educated than me. The famous story where the Al-Gharib comes to the mosque and he asks the Holy Prophet that I'm a Gharib, I need money, I need clothes, I need money to go back to my family. I need you to think about this story. Every time you think about this story, please think why the Prophet did this. When someone asks God's greatest ever creation, could not the Prophet give him the money? Could he? Arham ar-Rahimin. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is more merciful than the Holy Prophet? Who is more Kareem than the Holy Prophet? Habib Allah, a stranger came to him and asks him, I need some help. The Prophet could have gave it to him. You know what the Prophet wanted to do? The Prophet wanted to set an example and say, you know what? You can't ask the Muslims. You need to go to someone that will definitely, if you connect to her, she gives you everything. He says, see that house over there? The points to the house of Fatima. Go and ask Fatima, she'll give you. He goes, knocks, Assalamu alaikum ya Ahl Bayt al-Nubuwah wa Maw'id al-Risala, like the akhlaq. She says, who is it? He goes, I'm a stranger. Your father has sent me because I need, financial help. She gives him the necklace. Allahu Akbar. The necklace has touched what now? Has touched the skin of heaven. Skin, the holy body of heaven. So when he goes back, Ya Rasulullah, Fatima Al-Zahra gave me this necklace. He goes, but I want money, I want food, I want clothes. So the Holy Prophet now wants to test the Muslims. Who knows the azama of what this necklace is? He says, who wants to buy the necklace? He doesn't say just necklace, he wants to buy the necklace of my daughter Fatima. Al-Habib ibn al-Habib says, I'll buy it. Ammar ibn Yasir. Comes up, says, Ya Rasulullah, I'll buy it. Tells the stranger, what do you want? Money, as much money as you want. Clothes, as much clothes as you want. Alaykum salam. Everything you want, we give it. He took the necklace, he called his slave over. He said, go and take this back to Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. If she takes it back off you, you're free. Anta hur. So he goes back. He knocks on that same, Assalamu alaikum Ahl Bayt al-Nubuwah, the house of the prophethood. Subhanallah. On this point here, this is also adab. To show the Muslims, 6 months, the Holy Prophet would stand there, Assalamu alaikum Ahl Bayt al-Nubuwah. Like, you're the Prophet of God. You don't need permission. He wants to show people the greatness. Even Jibreel, Mikael, everyone needed permission to enter that house. The greatness of this house. في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع يذكر فيه اسمه الله أكبر. This is the house of Nabuwah, of Wahi. So when he goes in this, and he says to her that, she goes, whatever comes from us, we don't take back. He says, please, oh daughter of the Holy Prophet, but if you take it back, I'm free. She goes, if that's the case, give me the necklace back and you're free. He starts to cry. He starts to cry. He says, Allah, why? Is there anything else you want? He goes, no. He goes, I know the greatness of who Fatima Al-Zahra, salawatullah. This necklace, it fed a poor person. It clothed a poor person. It gave a poor person money to go back to his family. It set a person free and it went back to its owner. Who does this? Who knows this? And above all this, that's from the ruh. What happened to Fatima, what comes out of Fatima? That's one part. You all know Imam Ja'far As-Sadiq alayhi salam, the famous hadith, when it comes to the translation, Allahu nur as-samawati wal-ard, mathal nurika mishkatun fi al-misbah, until the end of the ayah. You all know this ayat al-nur. The Imam Ja'far As-Sadiq says, al-misbah, he Fatima. It's Fatima. The niche is Fatima. And then he goes on to talk about the Kawkaban Durriyan. He says that this shiny light is Fatima Al-Zahra amongst all the women of this earth. Sayyid al-Nisa al-Alimin min al-awwaleen wal-akhirin. Do you know what comes out of Fatima? People that used to come to Medina, they knew the house of Fatima, especially at night, because it was the only house in Medina that light emitted from it. Because that's why she was known as a Zahra. Because every time she prostrated in her mihrab, Allahu Akbar, the nur of Fatima would emit into the heavens. Aisha says herself that when we used to, at night, the women of Medina, when they used to sew at night, they used to bring Fatima so she can uncover her face. So when the light, the nur of Fatima, they would be able to sew at night. Is this someone normal? You understand when it means al-huriyya insaniyya? Do you not understand now that she's this heavenly being? Now this is one part of it. The Holy Prophet goes on now to explain more about Fatima, because this is a hujjah. This is for you evidence. No one can come on the day of judgment and say that we did not know Fatima. We never knew the greatness of Fatima. If that was so, there must be a lot of people that really have this hatred for Fatima. For God's sake, there was a mosque in Syria, because it had the word Zahra on it, and because it's linked to Fatima Al-Zahra. It's a Shia mosque. Let's get rid of the name. And people are saying to you, why do we remember Fatimiyya? It's because of this. When God says to Musa, أخرج قومك من الظلمات والنور وذكرهم بأيام الله. When God says that, take your people from darkness to light and remind them of the days of God. What is a better day of God, of taking people from darkness to night, than the Fatimiyya? To show people that how much you have distanced yourself from the actual seed, the most beloved daughter of the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet, please understand this. What I'm about to tell you now is something that even when I thought about it, we haven't comprehended it. I took this hadith because this hadith is mentioned in both Al-Am, the Sunni books, and the Shia books. The Holy Prophet, first of all, does the Holy Prophet do anything out of his own cause? This is the question here. Does he? According to the Quran, he doesn't. وَمَا يَنْتُكَمْ عَنِ الْهَوَى. So everything, even if the Prophet wanted to drink water, he doesn't drink water until, the command is linked by God Almighty. So when the Prophet takes, listen to this, please. The Prophet has the best aql, has the best heart, has the best action. Why would Rasulullah take Fatima Al-Zahra by his hand, walk out in public? Honestly, would you do this to your daughter? Of course she's with the khimar in it. Why would he take her out by the hand? He says, فَمَنْ عَرَفَ هَذِي فَقَدْ عَرَفَهَا. That whoever knows her, he knows her. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَعْرَفَهَا فَهِيَ فَاطِمَةٌ بِنْتُ مُحَمَّدٍ. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. This is what I'm going to do, step by step. He said, وَهِيَ بَضْعَةً مِنِّي وَهِيَ الْقَلْبِ التي بين جنبي من أذاها فقد أذاني ومن أذاني فقد آذى الله, until the end of the hadith. But listen to this, please. Why would the Holy Prophet in this manner introduce Fatima to the Muslims? The Holy Prophet, please, my brothers and sisters, the Holy Prophet only 2 times lifted up the hand of someone. You understand? Fatima Al-Zahra was one. Who was the other one? Who? Ali bin Abi Talib. Ahsan. So, this is to say on the day of judgment that the Prophet, no one can say that the Prophet meant another Fatima, or on the day of Ghadir. Someone can say that the Prophet meant another Ali. No. The Prophet wanted to show you that within the Ummah, there are people that don't know who these people are. There are hypocrites. Even before I go back to Fatima, on Ghadir Khum, to show you how important this is, when the Prophet lifted up the hand of Ali. Now this is very important here. There's a narration by Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. He says that one time a man comes to him, he says that I have this khosh neighbor, very good neighbor, mashallah. You know, the prayer, the fasting. And he says to him, he said to him, then the Imam goes to him, Iblis used to pray and fast. 6,000 years. He used to say, Iblis prayed, did all this action. 6,000 years. He says, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, what else did he mean? He goes, has he got our waliyah? Has he got the waliyah? He says, no, he hasn't. He goes, let me tell you a hadith. The Imam tells him this. He says, لو صلى هذا الرجل, this person was to pray بين الركن والمقام, in the rukn al-maqam in the Kaaba. 6,000 years, not a single rak'ah will be accepted. Why? Because he has not accepted the usul, the foundation. That's like someone praying, subhanAllah, that's like someone praying, normal prayer, and says, I don't believe in the prophethood of the Prophet Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I don't believe in Muhammad. The same thing, because the same way that the Nubuwah came down, so did the Imamah. Ya ayyuha Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. It's true. So, someone who rejects the Imamah has also rejected Nubuwah, the prophethood. So, when the Prophet came out, and he said that Fatima is whoever knows her, من عرفها فقد عرفها ومن لم يعرفها فهي فاطمة بنت محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. He wanted to show people that the link between Imamah and prophethood is Fatima Al-Zahra. How do we know this? From another hadith, Ahlul Bayt. Every single prophet, Ahlul Bayt said every single prophet, for them to complete their Nubuwah, they had to know Ma'rifat, they had to know who Fatima was, Azamat Fatima, the virtues of Fatima, and they had to love Fatima. Only then was their prophethood complete. So now, you know why? Because Imamah. They had to know the link between Nubuwah and Imamah and the greatness of it. Every single prophet. So when the Prophet came out and he said, Fatima bud'atan minni. Awalan, al-bud'a, he didn't say that she's min lahmi or min jazati. No, he said bad'a. Al-bad'a ma'anata qat'atun min al-shay. That's what it means. It means that al-bad'a, it means it's part of something. It's actually like, the everything, the part of it is it. So when people say that what the Prophet meant was that she was his daughter, no. See, even the Arabic wording has meaning. He's saying that she is, see this lahm of me, what I represent, the purity, that's what she is. In other words, this piece of me represents something that's physically as well as what is inside of me. Because that's why he goes on to say the next verse. He says that she is what? Al-qalb allati بين جنبي. He could have said, could he have not said that she's just my heart? But why did he say between my two sides? Now I want to understand, or you understand, and for me to understand, please understand. What type of heart did the Holy Prophet have? What type of heart? Huh? That the Ruh al-Amin, huh? It came onto this heart. The great revelation came to this heart. This is the heart that had the most merciful. This is the heart that was the most intellectual. This is the most heart that was the most generous. This heart was God's greatest ever creation. The Holy Prophet says that Fatima is this heart. Allahu Akbar. It's you can't even compare this. You can't even fathom this. So when he says this, he says that Fatima is this the qalb that's between my two sides. He shows you that she represents something of greatness. And of course, there's another hadith that says that she's ar-ruh allati bayna janbay, that she's my soul, which is even greater because no other soul is more pure than the soul of Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So when we look at this, we'll find that the last part of it is the bit in which I refer to the very first verse. Because remember he says, min adhaha faqad adhani. Okay, why didn't the Prophet say that? He says, who harms her has harmed me. Why didn't he say in the Arabic language, why didn't he say, man dhalamaha? Huh? Or min ghasab haqqaha, who usurped her haqq. Why didn't he say that? Because the dhulm here, when you say this, it talks about both something that, because sometimes when you oppress someone, you can oppress someone like median. You can oppress someone that in terms of their wealth or their body. But when you harm someone, in the Arabic language, and if you look at it, the word harming means both physically and emotionally. That's why he used the word man adhaha. And on top of this, because the Holy Prophet came with the hujjah and the sunnah to the people, yeah? So the word adha or adhaha is going back to this verse here. When God says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولُهُ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ عَذَابًا مُهِينًا. So first of all, I want to do a comparison. They say, if you look at Al-Alusi, Fakhr al-Razi, they say that when it comes to this verse, it means that anyone that has cursed the prophets, God curses them. And then Fakhr al-Razi says that anyone that disobeys the prophet and the prophets, also God curses him. وَلَا خَيْرٌ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ, that this person has no good in this world and hereafter. Then, listen to this. They say that this verse came down to someone that was about to pray, but God, sujood billah, he spat in the ittijah or the direction of the Qibla, and this hurt Rasulullah. So the Rasulullah, he went to pray Jama'ah, this man, and they said to him that you can't pray because you have hurt the Holy Prophet. Then they say, no, this also verse means anyone that hurts the wives of the Holy Prophet. Allahu Akbar. You know what I'm saying here? Can you see there's a pattern? They have mentioned everyone except Ahlul Bayt. But then you look at, for instance, Ali ibn Ibrahim. This is now the real meaning of what this verse means. This is why it's linked to Fatima. It says, Ali ibn Ibrahim an Rasulullah qala nazalat, this one, this ayah, inna alladhina yu'dhuna Allah wa rasulahu nazalat fi man ghasaba amir al-mu'minin haqqahu wa akhadha haqqa Fatima salawatullah salam alayha. He says, wa adhaha wa qad qala an-nabi min adhaha faqad adhani. And then he says, من أذاها في حياتها في حياتي كَمَنْ أَذَاهَا بَعْدَ مَوْتِي. Allah. This is enough here. He says that whoever has hurt her in my life, he has is as if he has hurt her after I died. This is enough, but he doesn't stop here. Listen to what this is the hujjah. This is to show that everyone, you have to understand who Fatima is. Then he says, وَمَنْ أَذَاهَا بَعْدَ مَوْتِي. That whoever has hurt her after I have died, of course we know he's martyred, Mawti, كَمَنْ أَذَاهَا فِي حَيَاتِي. Allahu Akbar. That it's if like he has hurt her while he was alive. You know why he says this? So when people like today, they say that we weren't there, we didn't know what happened to Fatima Al-Zahra, but you say that you love the Prophet. وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ. Didn't the God say obey God and obey the Holy Prophet? You should know this. You should ask. Then he goes on, مِنْ أَذَاهَا فَقَدْ آذَانِي وَمِنْ آذَانِي فَقَدْ آذَى اللَّهِ. Okay? Now, another narration to show you that the link between Ahlul Bayt and those who hurt Ahlul Bayt. This is a beautiful one. This is the last one, I'll finish off. عن محمد بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن جابر بن الله الأنصاري. He says كلهم, and he says, given narration, he says كلهم عن عمر بن الخطاب. He says كنت أشفو عليا. I used to be rude to Ali. Then he goes فلقيني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقال إنك أذيتني يا عمر. So he was rude to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Then the Prophet says, oh Umar, you have hurt me. He has hurt me. And then he says, Umar says, فقلت أعوذ بالله من آذى رسول الله. He goes, God, seek refuge who has hurt Rasulullah. He says, قال إنك قد أذيت عليا فمن آذى عليا فقد أذاني. That whoever has hurt Aliyan has hurt me. Say all this together. What do you say about the one that fought in Hajam ala Dar Fatima? What do you say about the one that came there and said that I will burn the house down? What do you say about the one that said, he says himself that he says, يقول استقبلتني بوجه عاش نوره بصري فرفعت يدي ولطمتها من وراء الخمار. He says that I saw this nur come from behind the door. He goes, but when I saw the nur, I still picked up my hand. وَلَطَمْتُهَا مِنْ وَرَةٍ. Then I picked up and I hurt her and I slapped her and I did not care. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of Imam al-Hujjah alayhi salam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He does not take us out of this world except that we are still on the wali of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the ziyarah of Ahlul Bayt fil dunya wa shafa'atun fil akhirah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cure all our sick with the barakat of these layali and the barakah of Ahlul Bayt. Hadi wa ikhda awana أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات المسلمين والمسلمات خاصة من مات على ولاية أمير المؤمنين. رحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة مع صلاة على محمد وآل محمد.